time for This Week in Clarksville. And now, here's your host, Stephanie Miller.
Welcome to This Week in Clarksville on this Thursday, November 10th. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. We would first like to give a heartfelt appreciation to all of our veterans. We thank you and all of those like you who step up to serve this great nation. We would also like to thank your families for their sacrifice. Coming up on This Week in Clarksville today, Clarksville, you turned out big time for the 26th Best of Clarksville. Find out just how much you helped raise this year and how that money will be used. Also join me as I go to the Clarksville Water Treatment Facility. We're going to talk about water conservation and just how important the Cumberland River is to all of us here in Clarksville and why we need to work together to keep it clean. Do you have an interest in opening up a restaurant, a food truck, or any other food establishment? There is a Clarksville Food and Beverage Workshop coming up. I'll have how you can register for this class where you can gain valuable information. Coming up this weekend, you have handmade holidays happening here at the Wilma Rudolph Event Center. What you need to know before you head out here on Saturday or Sunday, and then all of the items that you'll be able to purchase. But first, let's check in with reporter Sherry Reeves to find out what's making the wrap in this week's edition of Main Street Clarksville.
This is the wrap for the November 10th edition of Main Street Clarksville. Elections are over and the votes are in. On Tuesday, November 8th, Clarksville Mayor Joe Pitts won his bid for re-election. Main Street Clarksville attended his victory celebration. Plus, 7 of the 12 city council wards appeared on the ballot, with all of the incumbents who ran being re-elected, including Brian Zacharias, Amber Markey, Wanda Smith, Travis Holloman, Stacy Streetman, and Joe Shakina. Ward 2 picked up a new council member, Deanna McLaughlin, who had served on the council before. Congratulations, Deanna. There was a big turnout last week at the Clarksville City Council's meeting concerning a potential PUD, or planned unit development of apartments, near the corner of Rossview Road and Warfield Boulevard. Read the latest developments in that case. And it was a sad day Thursday in Clarksville when community leader Condra Smalley died. The news was a shock to many. Read some of the tributes made on her behalf. She will evidently really be missed. And Friday, November 11th is Veterans Day. We congratulate and pay tribute to all of the military veterans who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Read how many veterans are served in Montgomery County by the local Veterans Service Organization. And that's the wrap. I'm Sherry Reeves, Main Street, Clarksville.
Thank you, Sherry. When we come back, find out the record-breaking amount that was raised during the 26th Best of Clarksville.
Hey, I'm John, one of the family owners here at the City Forum. Some people think I'm great at the games and attractions here, but I'm not. I'm fantastic. Your mom might want to pick that up. Go low with 18 holes in mini golf. Channel your inner Ricky Bobby on the go-kart track. Play in Clarksville's only 7D motion theater. 10 lanes of family fun bowling. Don't forget about our big birthday party rooms. So come on out to the City Forum and try to beat some of my high scores.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I have a familiar face that you saw a couple of weeks ago. We have Melanie Thompson from the Better Business Bureau back with us to talk to us about the results of Best of Clarksville. And when I say results, I mean money results and what you helped to bring in. So Melanie, thank you so much for sharing this information with us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, so drum roll please. What did you guys raise this year?
We were able to net $122,000 from the event. And that's from the wonderful sponsors, the ticket sales, the booth sales, our fabulous businesses that help support this event, and everybody that attended. We were able to do that, and it's the biggest year ever in 26 years.
And again, so those who came out, you helped to make this possible and what this money will do for a number of nonprofit organizations. Were you surprised with the turnout being the biggest yet? What was that feeling when you saw the crowd?
It was amazing. I'm just so happy that people like to come out. They want to come out, support businesses, support the charities, have a good time, and that's what this event does. And it's a fundraiser, and I think everything but like $1,000 is given out to the charities and divided up amongst Bikers Who Care, Kiwanis, and Clarksville Rotary. And then the four charities that we chose this year also get dividends from that event.
And you're seeing video from yesterday's Rotary Club meeting, our noon meeting. That is where I actually know Melanie from, a fellow Rotarian. But you see them giving over the checks to those organizations and smiles on those faces because those organizations know exactly what this money will do for them. What are you hearing from them?
I just talked with Laura Lee from Finders Keepers Cat Rescue, and she said it's just a game changer, that they're going to have a board meeting tonight, and they're probably going to be able to set up like a microchipping clinic and things of that nature. So all this money goes back into the community every year for the past 26 years. So we're really proud of that.
Awesome, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. I'm happy for the organizations, and thank you to all of you guys who did come out, who took part as being a sponsor, a vendor, and of course those who came out with their ticket sales to support their businesses and then in turn help to support these organizations. So you're getting ready to take, as you mentioned it before, kind of this baby once again and getting ready for next year. What can we do to help you out right now?
Like our page, follow our social media. We start taking charity applications usually around March or April. So look for that. If you have a charity that you are a fan of, send them the link when it comes out. We just want to do the best we can for our community.
And what is that Facebook page so they know exactly where to go?
Look for Best of Clarksville and it'll pop right up.
Best of Clarksville, and you're seeing that on your screen right now. So this is what you're looking for to like the page. And if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to them there. Send them a message.
Yes.
And again, just super excited for what's going to be done with this money. And speaking of that, in the coming weeks, we are going to hear from those organizations that was benefiting from the Best of Clarksville event. So you'll be hearing from them and hear exactly how those dollars are going to help the mission that each or those organizations have. So thank you again, many thanks. And Melanie, thank you for all your hard work. We appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to learn about how we can be good stewards when it comes to our water. You're going to want to hear this information from the water treatment facility. We'll be right back.
As a busy mom juggling family, errands, and everything life throws at me, I try my best to be environmentally conscious. So of course, I buy flushable wipes thinking I'm doing the right thing. But it turns out flushable wipes aren't actually flushable. I found out the hard way when flushable wipes caused a clog and flooded my house with sewage. It ended up costing me thousands of dollars in damage and a big headache with the insurance company. It's safe to say our family will never flush a flushable wipe again, and instead put them where they belong, in the trash.
So, I just heard you talking to Jane about your gorgeous living room.
She was just asking me if it came from
Rooms for less, is that true? I mean, I always thought with the whole less thing.
Not at all. I mean, the whole less thing's actually more. You get more quality, more name brands, more selection.
Oh, but what about the table? I mean, there's no way.
Rooms for less.
Is this Rooms for Less? What time do you guys close? Yes!
The West Group at Southwest Funding has a combined 29 plus years of experience in the local mortgage market. It's our top priority to make sure the client is well informed and has a transparent loan process. Our focus is to make your journey to homeownership as seamless as possible. Once you close with the West Group, you are family for life. To become part of the Happy West Group family of clients, call 931-266-0013 or visit us at thewestgroupswf.com.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I am now at the water treatment plant here in our area. I have plant manager Philip Whittinghill with me. First off, Philip, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to do it.
Happy to have you because I, like some of you out there, love learning about things you just don't know. So we are going to talk about water conservation, being good stewards when it comes to water, and just how important the Cumberland River is to us here in Montgomery County. So let's start off first with how can we conserve water? What does water conservation mean to us?
Water conservation to us, as far as residential, means doing the best you can to not waste water. There are many things that you can do. You can change your shower head, lower the gallons per minute that come through. Okay. Toilets today are more water efficient. Same thing with sinks. That sort of thing. Don't run your sink while you're brushing your teeth. Turn it off. That
Guilty
sort of thing.
Yeah,
myself. But just common sense things. Just don't. It's a natural resource that we can't live without. And if we treat it like that, I think common sense will take over and help us do the right thing.
Well, and these are little things that we may not keep in mind as we're going through our daily activities and going throughout the year. But this is something you think about probably on a daily basis.
All day.
All day,
ma'am.
every day.
Every day, yes, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the Cumberland River and its importance to us here. Again, we were kind of talking and laughing a little as we were walking up about what people call the Cumberland River and, kind of the jokes that are made about it being maybe dirty. But there's some information that they may not be aware of.
Yes. The Cumberland River is a great source. It's abundant. It's easy to treat. The citizens of Clarksville, the consumers here, are very fortunate to have such a wonderful source. It actually starts in East Kentucky in the foothills of the Appalachian and runs 650 miles down through Middle Tennessee, Nashville, back up to the western part of the state of Kentucky where it meets the Ohio. The constituents in the Cumberland River are very consistent. Turbidity is a word that we use to talk about how dirty the water is. It's generally low unless we have a major rain event. So it's very easy to treat. A lot of the things that are in there that we have to take out are consistent. So it doesn't throw us many curveballs.
Well, let's talk about comparison. Talking about just the cleanliness or dirtiness of the water, you say there are levels. Can you give us a comparison to maybe another water source that's near us?
Close to us, one of the rivers in Nashville that services a large community, the Stones River. It's very volatile. The turbidity can swing 800 what we call NTUs. It's the unit that we measure in a matter of hours. So the operators there are constantly chasing it. It's very difficult to stay ahead. Okay. Here with us, one of the things that we talked about earlier, organic carbons. You know, they're very consistent, very low.
Well, and Philip was saying earlier, their goal here, and so you guys know, is always to make sure that we have the cleanest water to drink when it comes out of our faucets at home. How long is that process from the river through what you have to do to where it gets to us?
If we're running at full capacity, we can do this in about 2 hours. Okay. Typically, with the flow rates that we're seeing, generally, if you're a drop of water, it would take you 4 hours to move through the plant and go through all the processes and come out the other side ready to drink.
I'll be darned. You guys, how often do you test the water?
We test the water constantly. We have online measurement devices, turbidity, turbidimeters, pH, that kind of thing, that are online that consistently monitor so we know where we are all the time. There are other things that we treat for, iron and manganese for one, that we do daily testing.
There is so many other areas of this water treatment facility that I would love to touch on. I wish we had more time, but we will continue to meet up with you, I hope, and go through the process, see more about this plant, and then what you guys do to make sure that we have clean water to drink in our homes. Is there anything else that you would like to add before I let you get on with your busy day?
I would just like to mention that of all of the regulatory agencies that we deal with, EPA, TDEC, Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, they set the guidelines for everything that we do. Rules are in place, policies are in place, maximum contaminant levels are in place, and those are all governed by those entities. But the one group of people that are the most beneficial to what we do are us, because we're the ones that protect our source water. One thing I would love for everybody to take away from this is anything you put on the ground will end up in a water source. So be a good steward, protect your water source, and it'll serve you well.
So if you have trash, you have anything in your car, don't throw it out. Find a trash can, put it in a trash can. Make sure you throw it away at home. Do not toss anything out of your car windows. Do not just toss anything when you're out at the park enjoying a day with your family and friends. Don't toss anything just out on the grass there or leave it on the picnic table. Pick that up and please put it in a trash can, because you're not only doing yourself some good, you're doing your neighbors some good, as well as our environment, the water source, our animals. Really, you're doing such good by throwing away trash.
That's correct.
Thank you so much, Philip, for
You're
your
so very
time.
welcome.
I appreciate this. Now stick with us. We have more coming up on This Week in Clarksville. After the break, we're going to learn about a workshop coming to us in November that you might want to take part in. Stick with us. Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I'm with your sports reporter, Brady McAtamney, for our Sports Minute. Brady, we are still talking football right now, and as you see, we're right here outside of the Austin Peay Football Stadium.
That's right, we're here at Forterra Stadium. They're done playing here for the season, but they still got a couple road games left, including this past Saturday when they went to University of North Alabama and escaped there with a very close win. Head coach Scotty Walden said he thinks he might have to get his blood pressure checked. That was pretty funny, but they got out of there with a win, so you know that they're happy with that.
Great job.
As far as high school goes, there were 3 football games on Friday, all in the playoffs. Clarksville High beat John Overton 47-14 to get a big win and advance to the second round. Unfortunately, Clarksville Academy and Northeast were not so lucky. They had their seasons end, so there's only one high school football team left. Clarksville's going to play Cane Ridge on this Friday. And then it's basketball season coming up here. All the teams in the area are going to be kicking off their season next week. Okay. We have team previews up on Main Street Preps and Main Street Clarksville, so be sure to go on there and check and see everything that you need to know about the upcoming season.
So listen to Brady on that and check out all the information they have there when it comes to our basketball season. Anyone that we need to be kind of on the lookout for, have our eye on?
Yeah, so I think on the boys' side, Clarksville Academy has a chance to be really, really good this season. They were in the top 4 last year, finished there in the top 4. They brought back a lot of their really good players, especially Eddie Ricks, who was a Morehead State basketball commit. He's looking to have a huge year. He was a Mr. Basketball finalist last year. And of course, on the girls' side, Clarksville High with Amari Berry, who's one of the top recruits in the country.
Sweet. Awesome, Brady. Thank you for joining me once again today for our Sports Minute. And again, like Brady said, be on the lookout for these athletes again and get excited for basketball season. Stay with us. We have more coming up right here on This Week in Clarksville after this.
What was our favorite part of the chapter?
Well, first, has anyone seen Chris?
You know, she was just in the bathroom. Guys, it's rooms for less.
So what about the chair?
Yeah, rooms for less. I mean, I love it too. Love it. I just got it. It's amazing. All right, book club at Rooms for Less next week.
The West Group at Southwest Funding has a combined 29 plus years of experience in the local mortgage market. It's our top priority to make sure the client is well informed and has a transparent loan process. Our focus is to make your journey to home ownership as seamless as possible. Once you close with the West Group, you are family for life. To become part of the happy West Group family of clients, call 931-266-0013 or visit us at thewestgroupswf.com.
As a busy mom juggling family, errands, and everything life throws at me, I try my best to be environmentally conscious. So of course, I buy flushable wipes thinking I'm doing the right thing. But it turns out flushable wipes aren't actually flushable. I found out the hard way. When flushable wipes caused a clog and flooded my house with sewage, it ended up costing me thousands of dollars in damage and a big headache with the insurance company. It's safe to say our family will never flush a flushable wipe again, and instead put them where they belong, in the trash.
Well, welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller, and we have now Michael Robinson. He is the founder of Proof Bar and Incubator. First off, Michael, thank you so much for joining me.
Stephanie, thank you for having me. Excited to get to know the Clarksville market and come up there in a few weeks.
Well, I'm going to speak freely because the Clarksville market is excited to have you here to share your information because your business, you're partnering here with the Tennessee Small Business Development Center for an upcoming workshop. First off, let's go ahead and highlight a little bit about the workshop and what people can expect and who you're inviting.
Yeah. So, it's really important as I like to call myself a recovering restaurateur. I had a number of bars and restaurants. I grew up in the industry. I hated it, ended up going into nursing, but full circle found myself owning and operating restaurants and bars. So funny how life works, but it's a hard industry. Entrepreneurship can be lonely too. And it's important, for the people that are thinking about engaging in a workshop like this, we're really mindful of your time and commitment, and we want to add value. That's the goal. So we're excited to connect with entrepreneurs and just figure out what the needs are because every market's different.
So this particular workshop is happening on November 16th here in Clarksville at the Press. For those coming in and they're looking at you, Michael Robinson is there to share all of his background and the info that he has. Tell me a bit about the business that you bring to the table.
Yeah, so Proof Incubator runs a number of courses and programs across the country, and we've been doing it for a number of years. COVID accelerated some of our work. We also run physical incubators. We have a few locations in Tennessee, as well as other markets where we run commissary kitchens and pop-up restaurants and things like that. But Proof is a food and beverage resource center. So we have programs and resources for both traditional restaurants, catering trucks, bars, meal prep companies, things like that. And then we also have consumer products, programs, and resources really focused on people producing food and beverage for retail. So a little more like barbecue sauce or a cocktail mixer or a beer, craft beer or whiskey or something like that. So we have a lot of bases covered when it comes to food and beverage.
I'd say that you do. So looking at the food and beverage industry, is this more for someone who's getting ready to start a new, business, whether it be a brick and mortar store, or a food truck, or is it more for those who are established already?
It's both. So we spend a lot of time working with these entrepreneurs. So this workshop's going to cover a really large breadth. And so if you're new, you're just getting into it, we might scare, I don't know if I can cuss on this, but we might scare you. So if you're in it, you're definitely going to be able to relate to the pain points from inflation to workforce development and challenges finding labor, to, just to online optimization. So we really cover everything from point of sale systems and marketing all the way down to food costing. And so it's great if you're new and getting in, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be like drinking from the fire hose. But if you're in it, you're definitely not going to waste any time. So it's a great workshop for anybody interested or in the industry at any stage. And then when we do our programs, what we typically do is we do a lot of one-on-one meetings and identify where you're at, what resources you have, and that's, plug you in the most valuable spot.
Now, your business is based out of Chattanooga, correct?
It is, yeah. So we're not too far.
No, not too far at all. How have you helped those businesses there? What have you seen, in the time that you've had this business up and running for the other businesses that you've been helping?
Yeah. So since the pandemic started, actually since 2021, we've had about 450 food and beverage companies go through our programs and work one-on-one with them. A lot of them have been in Chattanooga, probably 60 or so. But we run initiatives all the way from New Orleans to Green Bay right now. We even have programs in California. And what we've learned is, there's a ton of similarities and a ton of shared challenges. Like I mentioned, with really the big ones are labor, inflation, just expensive cost of doing business. But each market's different. So it's really, spending time with those operators, learning their challenges, identifying some of the needs in the market, what's missing. But really, we try to get under the hood and just see where they're at. You have to understand what the operator is working with before you can give it any advice. Because I can spout all day from my experiences. You need to do this costing and portioning control, and you need to be doing this in social media. But the reality is, if you don't have the right tools or resources, that could put you out of business quicker than anything is giving you the wrong advice. So.
Oh, 100%. So let's touch on that real quick. So say 3 points. Again, I'm hoping all of these individuals will head out to your workshop on November 16th from 9 to noon at the press. But for those watching this who may not be able to attend, do you have 3 tips for new, those looking to open a restaurant or to opening a food truck? So newbie.
Yeah. So don't rush. Every mistake I've made in business is because I rush, because I'm like, oh, someone's going to open a waffle truck before me. And the reality is it's probably not going to happen. So take your time. Ask for help. Entrepreneurs are inherently stubborn people. And it takes one to know one, but ask for help. There are tons and tons of resources. Liz with the SBDC office there is a prime example. Like, that's a free resource with a really talented person and coach that gets you discounts to forecasting, all these business tools that you're going to need. So take advantage of resources, ask for help. And then I guess the third tip would be objective. Ask more than just your family and friends. Your mom's always going to love your cooking. Okay. So she is not who you say, do you love this recipe? You got to get outside your comfort zone. So find a way to share what you want to do or your vision or your product with people you don't know, or people that are going to give you good feedback. So typically whoever that friend is that's always right is probably going to tell you if your product's no good. That's just their personality trait. So people like that. So just get outside that comfort zone and make sure the product's needed and people are going to like it. Because a lot of times in food and beverage, it's a fun industry that people are super drawn to. It's sexy, it's fun. You associate it with fun. Everyone loves to eat. It doesn't mean it's that way when you're the owner operator. And so a lot of people get into it because they're passionate, and that's great. Sometimes that gets them in trouble because they put blinders on and they're not objective. If there's 5 barbecue shops on Main Street and you're going to open the 6th one, like, realistically, are you going to be successful? So.
Right. What about 3 tips for those who have an established restaurant or an established food truck?
Yeah. Get back to the basics, probably. To a lot of, if it depends on where you are. If you're killing it and you're ready for growth, awesome. Look for some of those partners. But most food companies, 62% fail in the first year, 85% never make it to year 5. And the average profit margin for a restaurant right now is 5%. So the reality is it's a really tough industry to make a lot of money out of. So most people need to kind of get back to the basics, and that's food costing and controlling what you can control, which is pricing and labor and things like that, and make sure you're doing that right. And then really investing in your team. So a lot of people are just trying to find, they're like, no one wants to work, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of true, but maybe they just don't want to work for you because you're not creating the right environment. So invest in the team you have. So if you got people that are loyal, even if they're slow cooks or they're not the best, but they're loyal and consistent and they show up to work, invest in that, invest in them. And that's not just paying them more. It's, as a small business owner, which most of these people will be, and maybe a few franchisees that attend the workshop, you got to invest in your team. And then I guess third, so invest in your team, do more marketing. And stop posting just pictures of food. Everybody that's nice, but tell a story. There's social media can be your worst enemy or your best tool as an owner. And I know we've all dealt with the backlash and the negative feedback and all those things, but post more often. Most people don't post enough. One a day is not enough. Post more. And then tell a story about your team or yourself that's more than just the food. It shares your culture or why you do what you do.
So you have somebody out there, you said like people who get into this business, they have passion. That passion is what drives them a lot of times. When they don't make it, what can you say to those individuals who haven't made it? They still have this love and passion for getting out a restaurant out there. How can you encourage them?
Yeah, it's tough. I've had a failed restaurant that I had to close, and it costed me a lot of. I call it my master's in business because it was about the same time frame and cost the same amount of money. It is tough. It's like losing a child or something almost to an extent, where you lose a piece of you, and you're like, why didn't it work? And you're just trying to figure it out. You just have to be resilient, and some of it takes time. But there's a lot of ways, if you're passionate about the industry, to stay involved or to do it and still get a lot of reward, whether it's hosting people at your house or creating a company that maybe doesn't have as much risk, a big lease and all this equipment, and maybe that's a catering company or a meal prep company or just sharing your stuff on YouTube. So there's a lot of ways you can still do it, but yeah, it's a challenge when you put yourself out there and don't succeed. So
that it most definitely is. So again, Michael Robinson, you will be there at the press on the 16th.
Yep, I'll be there. So look forward to hopefully meeting anybody that shows up, and we'll talk the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry, and hopefully provide some resources and tips for those food and beverage operators and owners.
Fantastic. And again, your business, Proof Bar and Incubator.
Yep. That's
Michael,
great.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I failed to ask that you want to put out there before the event?
No, I think it'll be good. It's I guess I use the drinking from the fire hose. It'll be 2.5, 3 hours of a lot of stuff we're going to cover. And then hopefully there's a lot of Q&A and a good crowd shows up and shares, what has and hasn't worked for them. That's big is you guys that are in this workshop are in Clarksville day in, day out, and we know Proof knows. We'll do some market analysis, and we know the industry, but we'll never know your market as well as you guys. So it's a good time. It's taking that time out of your busy day to day is tough as an operator, but I promise you'll walk away with some value. So.
What do the attendees need to have with them? Do we need to bring pen and paper or
pen and paper and yeah,
coffee?
We'll cover a lot. It's fun, but pen and paper and just come ready to talk about the industry and meet each other. So.
Awesome sauce. Well, again, Michael, thank you so much. So for everyone going out, this is happening November 2nd, 9 a.m. to noon, happening at the press. You have Proof Bar and Incubator that's partnered with the Tennessee Small Business Development Center at Austin Peay State University. So this is going to be a great way to get information if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a restaurant business owner here in the Clarksville, Montgomery County area. Michael, thanks again and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
At Miss Lucille's, we go for apple pie. A place that feels like a home away from home. A comfortable place to bring your family from out of town. It's a place where great conversations are had. It's a place where you can shop 200 small businesses in one location. It's a place for you to shop for gifts for any occasion or just to treat yourself. Come on down to Miss Lucille's. You'll be glad you did.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
The West Group at Southwest Funding has a combined 29 plus years of experience in the local mortgage market. It's our top priority to make sure the client is well informed and has a transparent loan process. Our focus is to make your journey to home ownership as seamless as possible. Once you close with the West Group, you are family for life. To become part of the happy West Group family of clients, call 931-266-0013 or visit us at thewestgroupswf.com.
Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I have Amanda Pitts with me once again. She's with Clarksville Park and Recreation, gearing up for yet another event that is Handmade Holidays. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Before we get to that, I do want to maybe backtrack a little bit. You had Bride on Franklin not that long ago. How did that go?
Oh, it was terrific. We had a great turnout. I think everyone who came had a terrific time. Lots of families, lots of little ones. It was really a fun event.
I know I made it down there, and if you were down there, you know it was jam-packed, so it did seem like a lot of fun. But again, now getting ready for another event coming up this weekend, this Saturday, the Handmade Holidays. What does that entail? This will be my first one, so I'm kind of curious to what it's all about.
Well, this is the 10th year for Handmade Holidays, and it is an artisan showcase. So we have a lot of our downtown market vendors who a lot of Clarksville knows and loves that will be here. Everything in the event has been handmade by the people. So it's a maker fair, and it's going to be a really wonderful show.
And if you're not familiar, if you are familiar, good on you. It's at the Wilma Rudolph Event Center here in downtown Clarksville. If you're not familiar with it, it's not hard to get to. There's a lot of parking, so don't hesitate to come this way this Saturday. How many vendors do you have for this?
We have 62 vendors, and we have lots of space for lots of people that are going to come in. Our sponsor Ultra will be here giving out cider to the patrons, and we'll also have 3 food trucks on site. We'll have Countryside Coffee, Tacos Azteca, and the Mac Shack out of Nashville, who do gourmet mac and cheese. So it's going to be pretty great. Yeah.
Who doesn't love gourmet mac and cheese? Now, for the vendors that are inside, kind of give us an idea of what sort of handmade items they do have.
They're going to have the whole gamut of things that you could think of to be made. So they're going to be handcrafts like sewing notions and knitting and crocheting, quilts. There's also going to be our friends from the Tuckasee Wood Turners who've been here for a long time. And so a lot of people doing really incredible things woodworking wise, artists and jewelry and soaps and lotions and candles. So there's going to be something for everyone on your list.
Love hearing that. So you said this is the 10th year for this. How do you keep it fresh?
We keep it fresh by making sure that the artisans who are coming are all top quality artisans, and we try to make sure that we don't give them that same old every single year, and we try to keep it fresh with new vendors as well as our old our trusted vendors that we know and love.
Very nice. So Handmade Holidays this Saturday. What are the hours?
The hours are Saturday it's 9 to 4, and then Sunday it's 10 to 2.
Fantastic. And does it cost anything to get in?
Free to get in. Free to come just look around. Come and enjoy it. Bring your family and come on down. I know I like to come down with my mom and my aunt and come come and kind of make a day of it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you giving us all this information. Again, this Saturday and this Sunday, so come out, buy some items, just have a lot of fun, look around. Again, it is holiday time, and I don't know, if you haven't started your Christmas shopping, now's the best time to do it.
Now's the time.
And then get ready, because we're going to hear from Amanda once again next week for something else that's coming up in downtown Clarksville. I know this is a favorite of mine, so we're going to be staying tuned to hear what you have in store for us next week. So Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We have more coming up on This Week in Clarksville right after this.
I just love your living room set. Do you mind if I ask where you got it?
You're not gonna believe this, but Rooms for Less.
No way. I thought with the whole less thing.
No, not at all. The whole less is really more. More quality, more name brand, more selection.
Excuse me, one moment. Rooms for Less? Yes, I'm calling about a living room set. Great, I'm on my way.
As a busy mom juggling family, errands, and everything life throws at me, I try my best to be environmentally conscious. So of course, I buy flushable wipes thinking I'm doing the right thing. But it turns out flushable wipes aren't actually flushable. I found out the hard way when flushable wipes caused a clog and flooded my house with sewage. It ended up costing me thousands of dollars in damage and a big headache with the insurance company. It's safe to say our family will never flush a flushable wipe again, and instead put them where they belong, in the trash.
Welcome back. Time now to go over some of the happenings in our area this weekend. On Friday, you have flags at Patriots Park for Veterans Day. This is running from tomorrow through Monday. Also on Friday, you can visit Customs House Museum and Cultural Center for a Veterans Day book signing with author Susan P. Hunter. Then Friday evening, head over to Cumberland Winds Veterans Day concert at First Baptist Church, Clarksville at their Fellowship Hall. The concert starts at 7:30 and the address for you is 412 Commerce Street. Then once again, Saturday and Sunday both, you can head here to the Wilma Rudolph Event Center for Handmade Holidays. Your times for Saturday, you have 9 to 4, and then on Sunday, you can visit from 10 to 2. Also happening on Saturday, this is for all of you preparing to put up those holiday lights. I think this is pretty cool. Lowe's Home Improvement will provide tips for light decorations, and this is happening from 10 to 11 o'clock. I have another recipe that I just made a couple days ago. It is the Dutch Apple Crisp. So it calls for 8 cups Granny Smith apples, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 3/4 cup white sugar, 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1/4 cup flour, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Then on your topping, it calls for 1 cup flour, 1/2 cup brown sugar, 1/2 cup white sugar, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, and a 1/2 cup of cold butter. So preheat your oven to 375. Take your apples, make sure that it's cored, peeled, and then sliced, and then add the other ingredients. So your lemon juice, the white and brown sugars, your flour, cinnamon, and nutmeg, and mix that all together. Make sure that that's well mixed. And then your topping, in a separate mixing bowl, mix all of that together. When you add the butter, pinch it in and make sure it's nice and crumbly. Then add those ingredients to the top of your apples. Pop it into the oven for 50 to 55 minutes, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Absolutely delicious. When you get it out of the oven, top it with either ice cream or Cool Whip. I go Cool Whip. I think that's tasty, but again, it's whatever you would like to do. I hope you enjoy that recipe. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Clarksville. Have a blessed Thursday, a wonderful and safe weekend, and I hope to see you again next week.
watching this week's episode of This Week in Clarksville. We'll see you next time.